Can casting read my mind? Hey everyone, I'm Matthew Cornwell with Get Taped here in Atlanta, Georgia, one of Atlanta's original audition taping services, which I co-own with my witty, wacky, and wise wife, Brooke. Oh, and a shout out to Nelson for the cool t-shirt. And now on to our topic. Can casting read my mind? At Get Taped, or anywhere else you might be taping your auditions, including at home, the major benefit is the ability to do multiple takes. You have a false start? Do it again. Curious about a different approach? Do it again. You mispronounce some crucial words, drop a line, have a brain fart? Do it again. However, while those are very legit reasons to do it again, there is another reason that actors ask for another take that I want to talk about in today's video. To illustrate, however, let's look at two sample takes from a script that I wrote. The script is very simple. A detective is showing up at the door of Laura, someone that he has a personal connection with, and he's giving her news that there is an update in the case against her brother. Let's look at both takes back to back. Laura, I have an update on your brother's case. New evidence has emerged. I wanted you to know before the press gets wind of it. Laura, I have an update on your brother's case. New evidence has emerged. I wanted you to know before the press gets wind of it. Both takes are fine, right? At least I hope so. So if you were my reader at Get Taped and I asked you which take is best, would you have an obvious answer? I mean, clearly you need some context for the scene, the show, the character breakdown, etc. But does one performance exceed the other in terms of being more grounded or authentic? How about this question? In which of these two takes was I actually reading a recipe out of a magazine instead of thinking about my lines? Specifically for this example, I was holding a magazine as a prop. And in one of the takes, I was actually reading a menu from one of the pages instead of thinking about the appropriate thoughts that my character might be having. Let's take a look. New evidence has emerged. I wanted you to know before the press gets wind of it. What the heck does this have to do with anything, Matt? Glad you asked. Hopefully what it shows you through a fun example is that whatever is happening in the head of the actor doesn't necessarily make it to the viewer. That is, as long as you don't break character, the audience will never know how you felt about your own performance moment to moment, for the most part. You see what I'm getting at? No? To say it differently, I can't tell you how many times at Get Taped I've had an actor ask me for another take because the previous one just didn't feel good. And when they watch the take back, their suspicions are confirmed. However, as the objective observer, I have no idea what they're talking about. Seriously. Because just like those two sample takes I showed you, I can't tell what the actor was thinking or feeling about their own performance in the moment. I can't tell whether they were thinking character thoughts or if they were thinking about their next line or what they were going to make for dinner that night. In other words, casting can't read your mind. Sure, they can sense when you're nervous or haven't fully prepared for the role or don't understand the tone of the show or the pacing of the scene. But assuming you have years of training under your belt and you've done the appropriate prep, they won't pick up on the moments that you felt disconnected. In fact, there's a phenomenon in psychology called confirmation bias, and I'm going to make a loose association to this scenario. As a viewer, when I'm watching a performance of any kind, on stage, on film, TV, what have you, I don't want to be reminded that I'm watching fiction. I want to suspend my disbelief and get immersed in the story. So even if you pause because you're thinking of your next line, I, as the viewer, will interpret that as the character thinking because I don't want you to break the illusion. So even for casting directors who are watching your performance with a more critical eye, they will give you more grace than you will ever give yourself. Okay, cool, Matt. So what's the big deal? Because if I'm self-taping, does it really matter if I do an extra take? No, not particularly. But you are in danger of trying to perfect the imperfectible, if that's a word. You'll love everything about your third take, let's say, except for that one moment where, you almost went up on your line and you paused just that extra half beat and you hate it. So You beat it to death. You do it over and over and over again, trying to get that perfect take, trying to be happy with your product. And let's face it, you won't be happy. You'll still be thinking about that third take and how if you had just fixed that one moment, you could have submitted that take. Trust me, that one little hiccup doesn't matter. If you stayed in character, they'll never notice. In fact, please hear me on this. That little moment that you hate so much oftentimes will be the favorite moment of someone else watching your video, including the casting director. Trust me, I've asked a few and they agree on this. Katharine Hepburn once said, if you give the audience a chance, they'll do half the acting for you. So in that imperfect moment, that real moment, that human moment, the audience will fill in that gap with their own life experience. So let it go. If you take anything from this video, it should be that you need to trust yourself more in your self-tapes. Don't do 13 takes just because you can. You're not becoming a better actor when you do that. Instead, you're creating a crutch that could come back to bite you when you're on set and they're behind schedule and they're running out of light. And so they're rushing you through your setups and only giving you 1 to 2 takes during your coverage. So let it go. Easier said than done. I know, I've been there. But this is why continuing to train is so important. If you're taping at home or with a reader who is your peer, or maybe not even an actor at all, then you're not getting the wisdom and perspective that you'll need to move past this issue. You'll continue to seek perfection, whatever that is, and in the process, you're doing yourself a disservice. Find a class or coach who can help you grow to the point where you can trust yourself more. As always, drop a comment below if you want to continue the discussion. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on set.